see. Recording. All right. Are we? We are. We're on. We're recording for all of our distance learners who are dialing in from everywhere. Hello, distance learners. Okay. We've got kind of a glare on the board, but I put out in Canvas a picture of the board. It's already out there. So if you can get into Canvas, look for today's date under classwork, and you can see a picture of the board that doesn't have a glare on it, and you can see what all the words say. All right?
Okay.
So going to the board for us in class, we can see it. I got some darker markers. Darker markers? Darker markers. So you can see things a little bit better. So first up, homework tonight, more IXL. How was last night's IXL? Good, yes, ooh, I get thumbs up, thank you. IXL, this time we're under the Algebra 1 tab. Remember I said, we're always under geometry unless I tell you differently. I'm telling you differently. Under the Algebra 1 tab because we're doing some, that's Eddie. Eddie, woo! Eddie's here. We're under the Algebra 1 tab because we're doing some review on systems of equations, solving the systems. We're going to do some in class today, but I want you to practice it tonight too. Tonight, wait, what's today? Today's Tuesday. When's the next time we meet? Thursday. So when's IXL due? Yes. So sometime today or tomorrow, we're getting our IXL done. It is systems of equations. Now this first one says 1580. What's that mean? 15 minutes or Smart Score 80. I upped it to 15 minutes because these are systems of equations where you have two equations and you have to maybe multiply one by a 2 and have the variables drop out. We're going to practice it in class today, but you're probably going to have to use your notebook during this IXL session to multiply something by another number, add or subtract, and get things to fall out. So but you're going to get to an 80 score in 10 minutes. I gave you extra minutes. You might not even get to an 80 score in 15 minutes. That's okay. Just put in the minutes. All right. U14 is also solving systems of equations, but they start out a little easier because they give you the first variable. So it might say x equals 5 and then give you an equation. Well, you can put the 5 in the equation and solve for the y. So those are a little bit easier. You'll be able to get up a lot quicker. Your score, you could probably get to almost 60 with the easier equations before you have to go back to solving the system. So I kept that one at 10. All right. Now, if you don't get to your whole worksheet in class, you will have to finish it at home. So we have, I think it's 12 problems, 12 sets of equations to finish on the worksheet. And then I'm going to ask you to do some graphing as well. And that'll be another part of your homework, is to graph in your notebook. So we are all about Algebra 1 today. We're going to graph, we're going to solve systems of equations, and do it all on this Sudoku worksheet. So I have that to pass out. And then Eddie is having connection problems again. But Leo, the worksheet that I'm talking about is also in Canvas. I uploaded a PDF. So you should.
Yes, now working on it, right? Like 2 bars system, so too cool.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. So you can just work it out in your notebook. You don't have to print it off.
Well, I have an iPad and I can do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You can do it right there. That's great. So you guys should work in your notebooks because we want to make sure all of your notes and all of your in-class stuff is in the notebook as all the homework that you do because you use that on the test. So all of the work that you do needs to be all together in one place. So get your notebooks out. I'm going to take Leo and the unfortunate can't stay connected Eddie Eddie, I'm so sorry you have connection issues.
No, that's okay.
It is. So what's fun about this one is you're gonna do math. That's what's fun. Guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna hand them out this hard copy. So you're gonna solve the system of equations, and the equations are listed right on top of each other. Now you might have to move some things around to get them lined up the way you want them. But you're going to solve the system algebraically, meaning switch the terms around. You might have to multiply by positive or a negative number to get things lined up and to get one of those variables to drop out. All right. Okay, so for each square, there are two equations. You're going to work those independently and figure out how to cancel out one of those variables by multiplying one of the sentences. I call them sentences. You can call them equations. I call them sentences sometimes. You're going to multiply one of those sentences by a number. Sometimes you have to multiply both of those sentences by numbers to get them to cancel out. Now, I will say the last page was originally the first page. That's where the Sudoku is. So that's where the instructions are. And it's important to read the third bullet. We didn't read that third bullet in A period. The third bullet says if you get no solution or an infinite number of solutions, then you can leave that box blank. So let me just tell you that the GH one, if you try to solve that, you get no solution. The GH box, you can put an X through that. You get no solution there. So when we say solve a system of equations, do you remember what that means? These are two lines. So when we solve the system, what are we really doing? Finding where they intersect, yeah. So if two lines don't have a solution, what does that mean? Yeah, they don't intersect, they're parallel. So those two lines are parallel in that fourth box, the GH box. So what I'd like for you to do is work through all 12 of these. You will get through all, if maybe one or two you won't. But then pick three, any three you want. You can even pick the parallel ones to graph in your book, okay? And that's what I want to see you turn in for me to take a look at. I'm sorry? I don't remember how to do it. Yeah, okay, well, let's do the first one on the board. 2a minus b equals -6. How about you guys? Leo, Eddie, do you guys remember how to do this? I can turn you around to the board.
What's that? Is that?
I should be able to see from here. I'll write really big. we have two equations, and these are equations of lines. You could swap out the A's and the B's for X's and Y's, so we could graph them like lines. And what we have to do is figure out essentially where these two lines are crossing. And what that means is we have to find a way to combine these two equations such that one of these variables drops out so that we can find the answer to either A equals something or B equals something. And so if I look at these two equations, I see here's a negative B and here's a positive B. So if I just add them together, the B's would disappear. So in this case, I just put a big plus over here and add that second line to the first line. So 4A plus 2A, yeah. And then negative B and a positive B, nothing. And minus 6 plus 12, positive 6, yeah. So then I have 6A equals 6. So I'm going to divide both sides by 6. And I get A equals 1. Now, then I have to take A, 1, and go back and put it back in.
Oh, okay, I remember that.
Right.
All right.
Now, if the B, if it had been like a minus 2, then I would need to multiply this by this whole row by 2. So I'd have a negative 2B and a positive 2B. Sounds like Shakespeare. To be and not to be. Oh. Okay, makes sense?
So A is 1, we can solve for either.
Yeah, good point. You can put that 1 in either one of those because A is the first part of the coordinate pair. Coordinate pair is like that X, Y. So remember, that's that one point where they're both exactly the same place at the same time. Both of those lines cross. So you can put that A equals 1 in either of those equations. You'll get the same answer.
Only do it the way where you like add them together or is there a
What? No, that's fine. Whatever way you can do it. There are like 4 different ways to get a solution when you have two equations to solve the system. So you can use any way you want. And U14 is actually on Excel uses substitution. So we're not using substitution. We're using elimination. And obviously graphing is the next way. So I want you to practice that. And I'm trying to think what the 4th one is. There is another one after that. So whatever works for you, as long as you're getting the right answer. Anything goes. I'm a wild woman. Eddie, can you hear me? Are you doing all right, Eddie? Can you stay connected?
I think he's not, I guess. Or she. Yeah, no, it's he. I'm sorry. Maybe he is reconnecting with us.
Yeah.
So are we going to do the Sudoku first or to do the IXL first?
The Sudoku.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, the IXL we won't do in class.
Gotcha. This one.
Remember, Sudoku only goes 1 to 9. So if you come up with an answer that's more than 9 or 0 or negative, it is not correct.
And what? 10 minus 18k equals to 9. This going to be 15, it's going to be 4. All right. 2 minus 4b equals to minus 6. And 2p. Okay. Teacher, like the PN1 on the second page, it does not have an answer, right?
It does not. You're correct.
Okay. All right. So it's gonna be 6. And r equals to 4. This is 4, maybe 12. It's gonna be 12. So k equals to minus 1 is minus 3 minus 3. 46, minus 46, and equals to 12. 4.
Hey, Leo,
Yeah,
for our distance learners that are going to watch the recording later, would you mind working a problem out on the whiteboard for me?
yes, sure.
Okay. Okay. So I'm sharing it, and I think
Oh, you're sharing the link in chat box?
I'm sharing the whiteboard. Let me see. I think I can tell it to allow you to write on it. Perhaps I cannot. Okay, I've allowed it to, for you to share. So if you do see a green button at the bottom that says share screen,
Uh-huh.
okay, if you click that, then it should pop up to say whiteboard.
Ah,
Click whiteboard.
open. Yes, yes. I need to access it because it needs some
If you click
security.
whiteboard and then share screen, it'll pop up just a blank whiteboard for you.
Yeah, well, I totally understand, but for security and privacy, I need to quit this and then log in again. Then I can do it. Yeah, sure. So how to say it? It's going to take about a minute for me to quit this meeting and then log in again to open this whiteboard.
Okay,
So I will be back later. So yeah.
in a minute. Okay. I just realized that we're all working very quietly, and anyone who's watching the video is probably thinking, what's going on? Okay, let me come help you.
Yeah, so back here and I'm going to start a whiteboard. Yes. I'm done using backwards with the whiteboard.
You picked up the whiteboard?
Yes, already.
Do share whiteboard, there you go. And then you can, do you have a touch screen or you using a mouse?
Yes, I'm using a mouse. Yes.
Okay, so if you could just pick one of the problems and write the two sentences out and show how you solve it, that would be really helpful for all of our other distance learners to just talk through it for them.
Okay, of course. So first I want to make sure if I'm really getting things right. Like, can you see these things on my iPad? What am I writing? I want to make sure if I'm, solving it properly.
Can you hold it a little bit closer?
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Which one is that? I can check. You've got your answer already.
Well, it's the CD one on the first page.
The CD one on the first page. Okay.
Yes.
And you got
Both
4 and 4. Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So just
yeah, of course.
What we're gonna do is figure out how we can make two of those terms the same, so that when we subtract them out together, they will fall out. They cancel each other out. So when I look at the C's, like this is better than this is better for, so there's no easy way for me to make those two, like here, a 2 or a 4. If I double back it up, then it would be a 4, and then I need a negative. So it would be a negative 4, and then 4, negative 4 is actually this here. So I'm gonna take this whole sentence and multiply it by negative.
So for the CD one, let's text right here. 3C plus 4D equals to 8. Let's see. 2D equals 20. So this is the problem we're getting on the second page of the second issues of the CD ones, yes. And we're trying to solve this. Yeah, it's like, no, I'm not right. Sorry for mistake. Here. So we can see like there is a 2D and 4D in both equations, and we are trying to make them equal in order to get rid of D. Then we can solve like what equals to C, right? So we are going to time 2 to the second equation right here, and we will get 8C, well, it's all times 2. AC plus 4D, sorry, equals to 48. Equals to 48. Yeah, that's what we got. So we can figure out that like here is a 40 and here's another 40. So we can, minus these two things. So we put these two new equations together to get a 3C plus 4D minus 8C minus 4D equals to 28. 28 minus 48. That's what we are getting through combining these two new equations. And then now we can see there's a plus 4D and another minus 4D, then we can just get rid of it. So now we are left with, now we are getting, now we're getting 3C plus, minus, I'm sorry, minus 8C equals to minus 20. We'll get negative 5C equals to negative 20. And right here, we can solve that C equals, and when we have C equals to 4 right here, we can go back here and get C into the first equation right here, and we will get 12.
Well, it's on the right side of the equation.
Plus 4D equals 4D equals 28. Then after simplify this, we get 4D equals to 16. And right here we can solve that D equals to 4. and these two will be the solution for these two equations when c equals to 4 and d equals to 4.
That one has to be answered, because 4D is over.
I think that's all, right? Ms. Edwards?
Hang on just a minute, Leo. So with this one, make sure that you put the F on the other side first. Well, let's see. The -6 is fine, the E is fine, but when you subtract the F out from here, it needs to be a negative on that side. So you can negative it out. Okay.
Yeah, I showed the whole progress.
Very nice. That is excellent work, Leo.
Okay, so I'm done right here. Is that okay?
Yes, fantastic.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'm just hoping that Eddie could get connected and see this.
Yeah, maybe you should tell Eddie to turn off the VPN because we don't need it on Zoom.
Yeah. Eddie, if you're trying to use your own video, turn off your video camera. It doesn't look like you're trying to use your video camera, but if you are, turn off your video because we would love to see your face, but we don't need to see your face. That might help your bandwidth. So turn off your video. And that might help you see us, and it might help you talk to us. The example that Leo worked on the board here is number 2 on the worksheet that's out on Canvas. It's called
2-var systems Sudoku.
Yes, 2-var for variable, 2-var systems Sudoku. And you can just look at that online and work those problems in your notebook. But this is the second problem, and Leo did a fantastic job working that out. So I do want everybody to get through all 12 of these problems. I know it seems like a lot, but you need as much practice as possible with solving these types of problems. We use these because when we start looking at where 2 lines cross, there's a point, and then we get a third line in there, there are more points, and then we have a triangle. And we work with triangles a lot in geometry. So if we can know where 2 lines cross and where 2 more lines cross, and then we've got 3 total lines and 3 total points, we've got ourselves a triangle. And when we start looking at how they cross, are they crossing at a right angle, or are they crossing at a 30-degree angle, a 60-degree angle, a 45-degree angle? When we can measure those angles, then there are some special properties that we can find out about those triangles. So being able to find where things cross and being able to manipulate these equations and understand slope is critical to geometry. So I want to make sure everybody's getting it, remembering, pulling back that algebra. Okay, so you guys keep working. I've got a few questions out here.
Yeah.
Turn you around, you can see the classmates.
keep this constant. Just neutral with others. So it just where it was. So you have to just stay in the middle. On this side, you've already got an A. And then minus 2 on the other side. And then the negative 3 up on the side of this. So the N is already over here. So what about this one? It's already positive over here. But now you've got the equals here. The full key is positive. Let's stay positive here. That's not going anywhere. So it stays where it is. So it's got a move, so it's negative. Yes, that is the original solution. So for that one, there is no point. No solution. And then on the actual solution, you won't have a number to put in there, and you'll have to wait until you get all the other numbers to figure out what the number is. Yes, it is. Because some of them don't have letters, so like these numbers, so we're going to figure out like the letters. So the letters match up to the letters that they're getting. So like A is 1, B, C is 4. Okay, let's do that one. So guys, when you get to one like number, which one is it? 3, the one with the E and the F. When you get to one where all of the variables are not on the same side, variable means an unknown. It means an X or a Y. In this case, it means the E and the F, the letter. It's the thing that we don't know what number it is. So when you have variables that are on opposite sides of the equal sign, in a case like this, we want to put the equation in what we know of as standard form. Right now, if this was in X's and Y's, it would look like this. You guys recognize that form? Y equals X minus 6. What kind of form is that called? Slope-intercept form. Yeah. This is slope-intercept form for E and F. We want to put this in standard form, which means we want all the X's and Y's on the other side and the number on the other side. So we want it to look like this. Where C is just some number. So how do I get all of the letters on one side and keep the number on this side? I'm just going to add or subtract terms to get them to the right side. So the E is already where I want it, so I'm not going to touch it. The number is already where I want it, even though it's negative, doesn't matter. That's where I want it. But the F is not in the right place. Oh, F, go over to the right place. Now, how do we get it over there? Well, it's got a positive sign implied, right? It's a positive. So if I've got something positive and I want to move it, what do I have to do to it? Subtract it, yep. So I'm just going to subtract F. But if I subtract it on one side, I have to subtract it on the other side.
So on this side now, I just have E minus F. On this side, the F's cancel out. I have minus 6. So then if your other equation, like at 2F plus E or something, you just have to move things around so that they line up. Just like swap these two or swap these two so that they line up so that you can add and subtract them. Yeah, just take the negative with the 3e. Put it in. So it'll be a negative 3e plus. Yes. Yeah. You guys good?
Yes, yes. There's no answer problems.
Good. I'm hoping Eddie is doing well. Don't touch anything, Eddie. We don't want to lose you.
Yeah, I know. If I'm not in the room, I'll be right back in a minute because I've got bad connections, you know.
Okay, guys, Eddie's here. No, I pushed something. There we go. Okay, so we've got 15 minutes left in class. I know you're also working on your systems of equations. I want to remind you that you're going to pick 3 equations. They can be the ones with no solutions. I would like you to pick more than just 3 with no solutions. So pick any 3 and you're going to graph them. So each graph will have 2 lines. Make sure you tell me which ones they are. Like I'm graphing AB, I'm graphing NP, or whichever ones. If you can get them on one page of your notebook and give me one picture, then that'd be great. And there is a place in Canvas for you to upload that picture. Also, if you have an iPhone and you hit on Notes and you hit the, is it an eyeball or is it a picture? It's a camera. It's a picture and it's an eyeball. It's a camera. If you hit the camera in your Notes function, it will scan it for you. It comes to me as a scan. So you can upload a PDF, JPEG, or what's the one I put in there? I didn't put GIF. BMP. I put BMP or oh, PNG. I should add that. PNG. So what you're turning into me is the picture of 3 graphs. If you can get them all on the same page, 1 picture of 3 graphs. I would ask that you be sure that your name is visible in the picture. You'll be uploading it. I'll be in your file in Canvas. But if I can like flip through and easily see your name and look at your graph, see your names, look at your graph, I can grade a lot faster if your name is on your graph. Okay. Any questions? Also, the IXL homework. Any questions? I'm going to stop the recording is why I'm asking. No? All right. I'm just stopping the recording. You guys are welcome to stay. But I think from a recording perspective, we're done with the new content.
Okay, sure. Is that going to work for the GH1?
Yeah, that looks like it.
Okay, sure.